Jump on in, friends. Welcome to the Mini Indie Van podcast. I, the koala, am your driver on this journey, and I am joined by two special passengers here from Tiny Game Chronicles. It's Drellish and Marcus. How are you guys going?
Doing awesome, Fulya. It's really great to be here tonight. I can't wait to start talking some indie games with y'all. It'll be great.
Yes.
I am well. We have totally different time zones, right? So it's 10:30 here. Today is the first day that it started snowing in Germany. So I've been shoveling like nonstop. But it's good to be here. I need to clean my glasses just that I could see you all. So, but it's like really white outside. So we missed a white Christmas, but we have like a post New Year white season at the moment. Good to be here.
That's nice. Yeah, thank you. Thank you also for joining me today. I really appreciate it. This is your dedicated monthly podcast, indie game podcast, by the way, here at Carpool Gaming. And we hope you enjoy the ride. Before we begin, we need to clean out the van. We got a lot to talk about, especially considering that we've had a bit of a long break. And so it's time to get through some of the Patreon stuff and, all the other things. So first off, I'm going to start off with the fact the big elephant in the room. Hello, we are now a video form podcast. We are now going to be on YouTube over on the Carpool Gaming channel. So if you haven't had a chance to check us out, you can now. It never used to be a video podcast because it was one of those things that I just couldn't sort of figure out. But now that I have, we are here on the YouTube channel. So make sure to like and subscribe while you're here. And of course, just to boost up the podcast itself, would really appreciate it if you would rate or review the podcast 5 stars. That'll boost us a little bit for other listeners to actually find us. And also, if there are any, if you've got any reviews for us or comments on Spotify, I'll definitely read them out on the show as well. So make sure to do that too. A friendly reminder that you can get some exclusive content over on patreon.com/Carpool Gaming. But first off, want to say a big thank you to our new patron supporter. Welcome in Ben Moxham for checking out the 7-day free trial. With the content that you can get, there's been a lot happening over the Christmas period, even before we went on break. First of all, Ryan is kicking off the year with the Pants podcast for January and for 2026. That will be, I think by the time this comes out on the free feeds, it's probably, you might have just enough time to send in questions to Ryan, so make sure you do that. But if not, make sure you look forward to listening to their episode. We've also got a January episode of Sweet Hangs hitting the feeds on the 9th of January. We got 2 new podcasts that have hit the GUI's feed. So make sure to hit up that GUI's podcast with Fee, Ryan, and Sean's 2026 Wheel Spins and the Goonies 2026. Yes, that's right. That's what they call it. It is the games of their new year. So they are now available for you to go and listen. So please go check them out. Extra stuff that is happening in the community. Current Backtrackers game is Promise Mascot Agency. Make sure to play the game and jump into the Discord because they will be meeting on Saturday, the 17th of January at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. But also, the current Book Crafters theme for the month is new to you. So pick a new author or genre of book that you want to talk about. And they will be meeting on Saturday, the 24th of January at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. But that is pretty much it. Other than that, you can head over to carpoolgaming.com for all of your merch needs, including the Mini Indie Van t-shirt, which comes in 2 variations. So make sure to go and grab those. You can also donate to us on our website. There is a donate link at the bottom of the homepage. and your donations do actually help us out. We use most of the money that comes through from all of the merch and Patreon. We use it towards setting up for Extra Life, and I feel like this year is going to be a very extra special Extra Life, so would really appreciate the help with that. And yeah, just be sure to check out the other shows that happen here at Carpool Gaming, and including, like I said before, the GUIs, a Game of the Year podcast, the Nintendo Drive, the RPG Cave, and the Xbox Drive. They're all available on your podcast service of choice. So make sure to go and check out all of those amazing shows as well. Whew, that was one hell of a clean out.
No kidding. Congrats to going through all of that. I could have probably done some literal housekeeping while you were going through all of that. Cleaning my room for a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I feel like everybody would have done that.
That's funny.
But yeah, there's a lot going on over at Carpool Gaming. So for anything and everything, just make sure you're following us on Blue Sky. Jump on over to our website. You'll see everything posted there. Yeah, and that is it. Now it's actually time to high beam an indie. Now this is the section where we highlight a indie game that we've played in the past, and I'm going to throw it over to Marcus first. Marcus, why don't you start us off with an indie game you'd like to highlight today?
I would love to. So the game that I wanted to talk about and bring to the table to high beam in is a game that I'm actually playing right now. And that game is Arco. I actually first heard about Arco, I think it was probably even before it came out, from Carpool Gaming's own Seth Sturgill brought this game to my attention initially. I was a little hesitant, but it was definitely on my radar. It reviewed exceptionally well. I think it's like high 80s, low 90s, kind of on the review aggregator websites. And I started it up just before Christmas. I've been kind of picking away at it. It is fantastic. The writing is really, really strong, and I think that's what's blown me away more than anything else. I guess maybe I should set it up a little bit. So this is a game. I guess it's kind of like what would we call it? A tactical, turn-based RPG with some real-time kind of elements to it. The setting is really, I think, one of the big features, though. It's like this Mesoamerican fantasy RPG kind of setting. It tells a story from the indigenous people's perspectives of kind of like a colonization story. So like newcomers have come to their land and are kind of doing some, colonizing not so great things to the indigenous groups. And the story is told in, I think, a series of 5 acts. Each of the first 4 acts are from a different character's perspective. And then I think in the 5th act, I haven't gotten there yet, but from what I understand, all the stories kind of come together. The gameplay is really unique as well, and really engaging. Basically, the fights kind of take place on screen. You can see it here if you're watching the video. Fulya's got it pulled up here. But the characters have the ability to see what your enemy's moves are going to be. Then you can choose your move, and then it plays out in real time. So you can kind of plan around what the enemies are doing, and you have to kind of like take turns, but everything's kind of moving on the kind of the map or the battlefield at the same time. It's really engaging. I know, Michael, you've started it a little bit. I know I'm quite a bit further than you. You're just still fairly early in the game. I'm not sure, Fulya, how familiar you are. I don't think I've ever heard you talk about Arco before, so I
haven't personally played it, but I have, like you have heard Seth talk about it. But
it's really, really good. Really good.
I might have to check out the demo to this, to be honest. Yeah,
there is a demo. Yep. You bet. This happens to be available on PC and Switch only, I believe, not on other consoles.
Cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Cool. So, Michael, what would you like to highlight today?
So a game that came out in September 2024, and that is a little gem that I think went a little bit under the radar. It got some highlights here and there. It scored, I think, an 81 or 82 on OpenCritic. I think slightly a little bit more on Metacritic. It's available on all major platforms. So it's on Xbox, on PlayStation, on Steam. And it's called El Paso Elsewhere. So we're kind of keeping the El Paso Mexican vibe.
That's right. Yeah.
Going here. But it's imagine like if John Wick was kind of a neo noir kind of star, because El Paso Elsewhere is a shooter with a main protagonist called James Savage. It's almost like an old-time sort of detective story. And he's a recovering addict and a monster hunter. And we can see, I think, a few snippets in the preview as well. Who returns to his hometown to stop his ex-girlfriend, and I think it is a very abusive relationship, from ending the world. She's a vampire, without going into much more details, but she is, as I said, trying to bring an end to the world in a cheap roadside motel that has various levels, and you will be visiting those levels. And if you remember Max Payne, kind of slow motion bullet time. This is not a turn-based game. This is a wonderful bullet time shooter, where you have to defeat vampires, monsters, and I think creatures of legend that you'll see. It's beautifully done. And it is really about, confronting a monster that you've once loved, and what sort of scars that relationship, a relationship that has gone wrong leaves behind. Kind of that is the idea behind it. And you have kind of the smooth, slow talking in a detective noir voice, main character, James Savage, kind of working through his relationship, his kind of role in the world. Absolutely loved it. It definitely should get a little bit more focus, a little bit more attention. And I can heartily, as I said, heartily recommend El Paso Elsewhere.
Amazing. Yeah, it looks really cool.
The score. So
Yeah,
play
definitely.
it. If you're in the mood for a little bit of a detective noir kind of vibe, kind of story, you love your John Wicks, you love Blade, right? Then this is for you. So
it looks like it's got a little bit of the Matrix almost in the way that slow down bullet mechanic.
Absolutely. As I said, Max Payne, very much Max Payne inspired. So if you want a little dose of that, then this is good. And I first of all love the voice of the actor. I love the action that is there, and it's not a long adventure. That's why I say it's also a tiny-ish game. So you're welcome. I think you will finish it in I think just over 5 hours or so. You'll be done with it.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's a pretty cool looking game. Very dark.
Oh yes, I like my stories dark gray.
No, that's cool. All right. Well, a quick little game that I'm going to be highlighting today, and it's one for the pinball fans, and that is for a game called Super Pinball Adventure. Now, this is a really colorful kind of a casual pinball game, but the thing that I really like about playing this game, and I've been playing it a little bit over the holiday break, is you actually have to, in order to continue on with the levels, you have to hit enemies on the pinball table. And you gather points that way. You also get the opportunity to collect money so that you can use that to purchase boosters for when you're playing the game through, so you can have more lives. You can have extra nudge abilities, and it's just really fun. They've got they themed the tables as well as you play through them. And it's really fun, and it's very simple, kind of a like aesthetic in terms of the tables being put together. There's like different little, we'll call them like biome tables, I suppose. Each pack, you start off with like the forest, and then the next one you move into, I think it's like the ocean. And then, so you play through it, you make some money so that you can use it towards playing extra things. And you can play it on, it's only on PC, so Steam, but it's Steam Deck verified. So if you want to play it on your Steam Deck, you can. I play it with my, I use my controller. I use my Xbox controller on my PC to be able to play it. And it's actually like really nice to just hit the triggers. So you can actually set the controller, like the controls to the triggers if you want, so that they're the flippers on the table. So that makes it a lot easier for me, because I don't have to rely on using like other buttons. And it feels more natural that way too, like as if you're on a pinball as well. I feel like it would be
more intuitive to just do that.
Yeah.
Like when you're playing pinball, I don't know. I think it would feel weird a little bit on a traditional controller, I think, without the buttons, the face buttons.
Yeah, you can also use your keyboard. There is a keyboard controller as well, but I think using a controller with the triggers feels a lot more natural when you're playing. So if you are a that type of person who loves to play pinball like in real life, then it gives you a bit more of that kind of intuitive feel in that sense. Yeah, no, Super Pinball Adventure recently got released last month. So it only just came out in December of 2025. So it's very new. But I love it. It's good. And I want to keep going with it. So
very good.
It's good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is our high beaming and indie game. We are now going to be jumping in and entering the main destination into our maps. Today's main topic is Tiny Games. And what better people to talk about Tiny Games than the Tiny Game Chronicle team. So we're going to be talking about short indie games that we played in 2025. Not necessarily had to be released last year, but just any kind of tiny game that we've played. And I suppose to be sort of considered to be a tiny game, it has to be like less than 5 hours. Am I correct in assuming this?
That's how we define it. We define it as 5 hours or less. Sometimes we miss because we assume, or we look at how long to beat, and it tells us that it's less than 5 hours. And then we find out it takes us a little bit longer. But that's our kind of our goal is for 5 hours or less for a tiny game. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So with that being said, how about we kick it off? We're going to start with Michael this time. Michael, would you be able to start off with your first tiny game?
Yeah, so one of the games that I would like to highlight that really grabbed me last year, it's a simple game. It's not a very long game. It is called Many Nights a Whisper. And it is a beautiful game because it takes you into a world where you have a moral weight of granting wishes to the villagers in the little town, the little village that you're in. And basically, these people offer a braid of their hair. It's almost like a confession, right, with regards to where they kind of reveal their wishes. And you have to light a specific chalice at the end of the game, and if you manage to, through bow and arrow, to light this chalice, it's a shot that's kind of, I don't know, it kind of feels miles away, and the whole game prepares you for this specific shot. It's called kind of the single irreversible shot. You only really get one chance at it. That's actually quite nice. It's about a 60-90 minute experience. It's a beautiful mechanic, and it basically means that if you miss the shot or if you make the shot, there's no reload. You can't kind of redo the shot. That's kind of how the story ends, and it's beautifully told. And I think part of it that spoke to me is first of all, the meditation of really practicing archery, right? And the philosophy of storytelling as you're practicing, as you're absorbing the hopes and wishes of a village, and that all hope rests on you to make that shot. I mean, there could be no more pressure than that, right? At the end of the game to make the shot. So it's definitely a tiny game that I encourage everyone to try out. Many Nights of Whisper has my wholehearted recommendation. It is definitely one that got a special recommendation as we did our games of the year, our top 5. And Many Nights of Whisper definitely got a special mention because it's one of those games that deserves to be played. So that'll be my game that I would like to bring forward. Marcus has also played it, right, Marcus?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's really cool about Many Nights of Whisper, you've touched on it, Michael, but like you're making the choice as the dreamer which wishes you're deciding to grant.
Correct.
Right? And so like it raises some really interesting like philosophical questions. Like some of these wishes are very frivolous. Like I would like ice cream for every meal. That's not actually a wish, but something very frivolous. Whereas the other ones is like, I want. Can we think of one that like a more big picture kind of wish that?
I think there was a pregnancy as someone who wished for a child, right? If I remember that, which is like, okay, wow, that's a heavy wish.
Yeah, and so like you're kind of like increasingly having to decide kind of these big picture questions, and you kind of have to wrestle. Like, is that like you feel very much in the role of the dreamer? Like, would I grant this wish? Should I grant this wish? Does this wish like impact that individual only, or does it impact society? Like, I've got an awful lot of power in my hands, and you have to kind of wrestle with that. And so it's doing a lot in this really short period of length of a game. Like Michael said, 60 to 90 minutes, and you're going through kind of all these emotions. Then you're like all these wishes that you finally decided, okay, I think these are worthy of being granted. Then it's all on you to make that shot. There's no do-overs. You get one shot. The game ends either way, right? And so you have to like, you feel a lot of pressure, right? And yeah, it's a fantastic little tiny game. You haven't played this one, Fulya, have you?
No, I haven't played this one, but I have heard, a lot of good things about it from like a lot of people who have played it in the past, and it looks really, really interesting. So yeah, probably something I might have to chuck onto my wish list and play it.
It's only a few bucks. Like I think this is a game that might be like, I don't know, like $3 maybe $5 at the most. Yeah, it's pretty.
I was
cheap.
gonna say right now, up until I think this weekend potentially. Yeah, up until at least Monday.
Exactly.
It's 25% off right now.
Yeah.
So if like it's even a little bit less, it's a little bit cheaper now. But even without the sale, it's like under $5. So
yeah.
So that's actually pretty cool. So yeah, thank you. That one was developed by, was it Deconstruct Team and Selkie Harbor.
That's right. Yep.
You got that. That's right. Really cool. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, Marcus, what's your first game you would like to highlight here?
So the first game I would like to highlight is one that Michael didn't play, actually. And I don't know, Fulya, if you've played this one. I feel like I've heard you talk about this game before.
Okay.
Kabuto Park. Are you familiar with this?
I have not played that. No, I haven't played it. I know of it.
Fulya game.
Yeah. I think it's absolutely a Fulya game. So Kabuto Park is a creature collector. You're collecting bugs. It's a very cute, kind of wholesome game. You play a little girl who goes off to summer camp, and she collects bugs, and then she battles her bugs against other kids' bugs. So basically you're collecting bugs. So there's kind of like two phases to the game. One is to find the bugs. So there's different environments that you can go in. You play little mini games to collect bugs. You can see on the screen here, there's like a power bar that's horizontal that's kind of moving back and forth, and you have to stop it in the right spots to catch your bugs. And the bugs that you catch are random. There's different types of bugs in different areas. Then once you've caught them, you can recruit them onto your bug battling team. And you can level them up with different resources that you can buy. You can sell your bugs you sell them for candy. Candy you can feed to the bugs to level them up. And each bug, though, comes... So in the bug battling phase, I think, is actually where this game really, really shines, because it's it's a deceivingly kind of complex system. It's easy to learn, but there are quite a bit of nuance in here that makes it, again, more complex than you would first think. So like each bug comes with 3 cards, and those cards are kind of like abilities. And basically when the bugs fight, you've got 3 bugs on your team, so potentially 9 cards can show up at any point, and you're battling them against your opponent's 3 bugs. It's on like a sumo ring, so basically you're kind of like pushing and pulling, and basically your goal is to knock the other 3 bugs off the mat. And yeah, it's really, really fun. You can kind of choose which cards you're playing at any given time. You kind of get a little bit of like a delay in time. Some cards like take a little bit like the more powerful cards take longer time to be able to use. So like you're getting kind of pushed to the one side, while if you want to wait for the really powerful one, and then you can use the big powerful one, you push them back, and it's kind of like a bit of a push-pull sort of situation. You may have one of these bug matches per day, I think, throughout the whole month of August. So you're at like 31 matches. How many days in August? 31. And so you have 31 matches, and then that's kind of the end of the game. It takes 2.5 hours to get through. I think I like 100%ed the game, collected every single bug in the game. It's really fun. Another one that's quite cheap. This is PC only, but it is Steam Deck verified, I believe. If not verified, it might have just been because of small text, like playable. I can't remember actually. But it worked just fine on Steam Deck, no issues.
It's playable on the Steam Deck, it says.
Yeah. So, I was interested in it. Again, it was cheap. I think it was, again, $5, and I got it a little bit on sale. And I thought, Michael wasn't super interested in it. I thought, okay, that's fine. I'll just give it a shot. And I was like, this is cool. I ended up doing a short, like, solo bonus episode for the show. And it's a great little cozy, tiny game.
Nice.
Yeah.
It does look very cute. I love the art style of it all. Very kind of
I think
like
you'd love it,
Fulya.
Fulya.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
From what I know of you, yeah, I think you'd love it.
You would.
Yeah. All right. I might. I've got the demo downloaded. We'll see how we go.
See, an episode with us, your wish list will just like increase like
That's
tremendously.
true.
You'll
Yeah.
know it, right?
Look,
So-
if it wasn't for the showcases that happened at the start of December, honestly, you just doing this podcast happens as well.
So funny. I'm not going to ask you how many games you have on your wish list right now, right? As a total, right? Triple digits, right? I would imagine triple digits. Right?
It's
Gotcha.
triple digits. I'm trying to whittle it down whenever I can. I get to a point where there's like showcases happen, and then I'm like, okay, I need to go through this wish list. What do I no longer have interest in? I need to get rid of it. But then more showcases happen again, and then just goes back up again. I'm like, nah, I can't win.
Sweet.
Alrighty. Well, a game that I want to highlight today, the first one, and this one you can actually play in about an hour. And it is a game that has been developed by Teary Hand Studio. And this is a interactive visual novel point and click by the name of Anne Roger.
I had a feeling you were going to bring this one, Fulya. Yeah.
Yes.
Great game. Yeah.
Yeah. I highly recommend this game. It does kind of get emotional just because of the topic at hand. And it is about, a person who has, I think it's dementia, potentially. And it like that you are the character that has that sort of that disorder, and it's just one button that you're clicking. That's it. Nothing else. but it gets to a point where there's like some overwhelming feeling as well, just in the way that they've presented the story and the themes. They do have flashbacks in this game as well, about how this character fell in love, and what the things that they did and all that sort of stuff. So it's really sweet, but at the same time, it's also very kind of heartbreaking as well. I just enjoyed the story aspect of it all, and the fact that it makes you just feel like you are that character, and so it does get quite intense at times. So I would recommend it, but I would also put out a caution to people who might have, especially for people who might have sensitivity to like flashing lights and stuff like that. It does have a lot of that in this game, but also just it's just really beautifully told, this particular story. So I would like definitely recommend it, but just be warned, it does touch on some sensitive stuff. And if you do, and it also it would probably hurt, like you probably feel it more if you have someone in your life, in your family, that is going through similar kind of a scenario. So yeah, Anne Rogers definitely up there for me.
Yeah, I played this one as well earlier this year, and yeah, it's a gut punch. It presents initially kind of it's almost like you think right off the very beginning, it's a little girl, and she's like, there's an old man, and she does looking for her dad, and it's almost like this weird kind of like you think that maybe going in a horror direction, but it's got an art style that is very reminiscent of a mobile game from a few years back called Florence, which many people will be aware of. And the gameplay is very similar to Florence. You're like interacting, with the screen, very simple. They're not really puzzles, just kind of interactive kind of tasks.
Yeah. But
then it veers into this, obviously a very serious, not horror at all, but kind of, I don't know, just intense. Like you said, it is, I think, a very good and well-told story. And I think you get very much the perspective of the character throughout this. And it's a tough one. Yeah,
it is
very worth playing. But again, like you said, I think you have to be in the right spot to play it. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I decided to wait just a little bit because my mum is struggling with dementia, so it's a topic that's very close to home.
Yeah.
And I don't know what this game will do to me, so I'm probably going to bawl out in tears. So I'm going to wait a little bit before I tackle it. But it's definitely a game that I want to play. But the topic is very close to home, so
of course, yeah, it probably would be for a lot of people as well. So that's why I suggest that if you feel like you are ready to play this game, then go ahead. But if you're not ready for that sort of thing, especially if you've got someone in your life that is going through it, maybe hold off for a little bit, because it will definitely pull on the heartstrings for sure.
Absolutely. I'll just play and wait for Roger.
And All right, Michael, back to you. What is the second game you'd like to highlight today?
Yeah, so this is a game that does something with me. It's called Time Flies. We had a wonderful guest, Eric, also known as Dovetail, on as a guest, specifically when we talked about the game. And it has a very interesting mechanic. So you play as a fly. You're already seeing it in the preview here. For example, you're moving some golf balls on a piano to play a specific song. And what's particularly interesting about when you start this game is that this game uses the WHO, the World Health Organization's data with regards to life expectancy. And it translates the life expectancy of various countries. So depending where you actually play this game, so for you, it'll be Australia. Fulya, for me, it was Germany. Canada for Marcus. It'll translate the average life expectancy that you have in years into seconds. and then you're asked to do or complete a bucket list of things that you would like to experience within the time that you have, in case of a fly, within the seconds that you have. And you can see there already is the bucket list, right? With regards to making someone laugh. So that will be like tickling feet, for example, right? Here will be another bucket list. There you have in the preview the candle, the crocodile taking the dive into the wine. So a lot of things that you need to solve. And then you see that developed countries have so much more time than undeveloped countries or developing economies per se. And so it makes, or at least it puts the question forth, right? To what extent are the things that we want to achieve in life absurd, no, with regards to the time that we have? And maybe we need to then kind of rethink and redefine, what our human aspirations should be with regards to the time that we have. And yes, I mean, for me, it speaks to me because, hey, the next round birthday that I'll have is in 2 years, just over 2 years. I'll be turning 60. And so I measure time with regards to, okay, how many more World Cups, right, football World Cups will I be able to see or witness? And, well, guess what? It won't be that many anymore, probably. So it puts a lot of things in context. And so it's definitely a game that is light. It's definitely not heavy. It's also incredibly funny. It's of course it's minimalist. We're seeing the black and white trailer that we have there. But it's to a certain extent very meditative with regards to trying to solve the riddles, with regards to how do you solve the riddle of the bucket list that is there, like to make Mona Lisa smile. What would you need to do to make Mona Lisa smile, as an example? And so just trying to figure that out, that was great. But also with regards to, okay, how do you actually want to, if you reflected upon yourself, right? How do you want to spend the time that you actually have left? So a lovely game. I don't think it's very long, Marcus. I think you played it as well.
Yep.
I think it's about an hour. I think runabout-ish, or maybe a bit more.
I think it was a little over two. A little bit
over 2 hours. Okay,
Yep.
a little bit over 2 hours. But definitely worthwhile. And a little hint, right? So you don't have to start off the country that you're born in. So you're also welcome to do a little bit of research. You can
cheat.
I went to Japan.
Japan, yeah, the highest life expectancy. Give yourself a few extra seconds.
Exactly. That make a difference. But definitely a game that I absolutely loved. And I would recommend. Fully, I think you would also recommend this. This is definitely not a hard game, but one that causes you to think. Huh?
Okay. Yes, I've actually played like a demo when the first demo came out.
Of course you did.
Well, of course, who knew? But I actually haven't had a chance to play it yet, but it was gifted to me, so I definitely will be playing it at some point. It does look like it's going to be really fun to sort of go through and just and I like how when you find specific tasks, the timer pauses as well, so that it gives you a chance to do the puzzle or whatever.
Figure it out, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of like that, but also the fact that you're not locked into your specific country's time. So that's nice that you can actually play around and see what other countries have the, shorter or longer life expectancies. So that's pretty cool.
Do you know what Australia has by any chance? I don't think so, but do you know?
I don't know specifically, but I know it's higher than the US.
Yeah.
That's no surprise.
All of our American listeners.
We love you.
Seth kind of pointed it out when he played it I think he played it on stream at one point.
Okay.
And yeah, when he went from he started off with the US. And then he changed over. He had a look at Australia, and he's like, "Oh, that's more than us."
Okay.
So yeah, it does look like it's a good time, and it's developed by Playables. So there we go. Time flies. Nice one. All right, Marcus, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is Ooh.
Ooh.
Yes. Ooh.
Or depending where you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I say ooh. Michael says
Exactly. Well done, Marcus.
However you want to pronounce it, it's a fantastic game. So this is actually one we played pretty recently, actually, for our show. It is so it was developed and published by Nama Takahashi. They've done previous games. Elekhead is, I think, their biggest previous game to this. Similar style. Anyways, Ooh is a 2D puzzle platformer, and it looks very retro. It looks like it would fit right on that, like an NES kind of console. Like it's a pretty simple looking game, but the puzzles in this game, the puzzle platforming in this game is masterclass. It is so smart at how it teaches you, the player, how to solve the puzzles that are in the game. Basically, you start out, there are different areas that you have to go through. It's a pretty linear experience, but when you first enter a new area, you usually can have an option to go left and option to go right. And one of those options looks like it's basically a dead end. Like there's usually a big frog or something kind of like sitting in your way and you can't get past it. And so you go like, well, okay, I guess I don't have the ability or have to unlock somehow to be able to get past it. I'll just go the other direction. And so you go the other direction and you have to solve a puzzle, and you solve a puzzle in one screen. These are kind of like one screen sort of games. So you move from one screen to the next, right? And so you solve a puzzle, and then the next screen after that is almost like the same version of that puzzle you just solved, but like a slight variation. And then it keeps kind of doing that through subsequent rooms. And then you eventually get to the end, and you've kind of made these like increasingly more difficult or complex puzzle solutions. And then you get to the end and it's like another dead end, but it gives you a little like a warp to go back to the start. And then by the time you get back to the start, you go to that first spot that you thought was a dead end, and you're like, oh no, I had the tool set to actually get past this frog, or to kind of like to solve that puzzle. I had it all along. And the game kind of like taught you on the other half of the level how to actually solve the puzzle. It's so brilliant. I loved every minute of it. You're this little cute caterpillar you can see on the screen now. If you happen to be watching the video, you have like your segments of your caterpillar are like bombs, so that you use these bombs to kind of like maneuver yourself around and solve and blow up blocks, and kind of move your head around a screen and kind of like jump up and stuff like that. You can't actually jump. You have to use the bombs to shoot yourself up. It's really, really good. I know that this is not Michael's genre. And so it took him a little longer to beat it. It took me about 3.5 hours. I think that's pretty typical from watching how long to beat. It took Michael a little bit longer than that. I won't divulge your total playtime, Michael. But he liked it too. And I don't want to speak for you, but like it was, I think it just was so smart in the way that it teaches the player how to play the game without any dialogue, without any written text. It's just communicating in game language how to kind of like do this stuff. And it makes you feel really smart, because I'm not a puzzle guy for games. Like I usually struggle with almost every type of puzzle in games, but this one I didn't. I did have to look up a few. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't, breeze through the entire game. But for the most part, the game is so smart in the way that it teaches you how to do it. You don't have to look up that much. So very, very good game. Highly recommend. I don't think nearly enough people played this game. It doesn't even have an open critic score. So yeah, it's very good, and more people should play it.
I can wholeheartedly underline and highlight the things that Marcus said. I mean, this is a game. I'm not a Metroidvania fan. I'm not really a platformer per se. When I say I'm not a fan, I just didn't grow up with it, right? But I made an effort to finish and I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry that I did. And I think everything that Marcus said is on point. The fact that this game respects your time. because the flags, right? You saw some flags on the trailer that we saw. It basically means that the starting point, if you're not able to solve something, or you die or whatever, you don't have to backtrack, right, miles and miles. But you can, I think, just a few seconds or so before solving the puzzle, or before you dying, you can start off there again. And I think that is great. It took me obviously a little bit longer, just because I'm not used to those type of games. But I'm not sorry that I did, and I will definitely include more of those games in my diet. I can, but only seriously in the highest tones, recommend. And I think, Marcus, it was part of your top 5 games of this year, right?
Yeah, I think it slid into number 3 of the tiny
Exactly.
games that I'd played.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
So Fulya, I can recommend it. I can recommend it for you as well. You'd love it. Seriously.
I like the look of it. It looks very cute in the pixel art and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, I like puzzle platformers. This feels like more of a precision puzzle platformer kind of. No,
I would say no. It's definitely more puzzly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not precision. This is not
Okay.
like Celeste or another tiny game that I really like like that, where you have to really be very, very precise in your
On
jumping
point.
and stuff like that.
Exactly.
No,
Right,
it's not like
okay.
that.
This is quite
It just-
forgiving.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just from looking at that trailer, the way that you have to place the bombs in order to sort of maneuver your little caterpillar, for whatever, that kind of made me think, oh, this might be one of those, precision type things. But there's a demo for it on Steam, so I
There you
guess I'll
go.
check it out and see how I feel about it later. But yeah, no, it looks really cool, and I know a lot of people, especially I think Seth also mentioned. Seth is big on indie games, so he always recommends really good stuff. So.
Seth, I mean, not to glaze Seth too much, but Seth has very good taste in indie games.
He
too.
does.
Like, if
He
Seth
really
is
does.
recommending something, it's time to pay attention, because Seth knows his stuff. Yeah.
He knows his stuff.
Absolutely. Yes. Cool. So a game that I want to mention, but I'm gonna do a one full experience, if you will.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's a trilogy, but they're all you can play them in like less than 2 hours each, and this
Okay.
is the Monument Valley trilogy.
Okay.
So one game, depending on how long it takes you to figure out these puzzles, takes about an hour and a half to get through in terms of like its main story. There's 10 chapters per game, but then they've added in some extra sort of games, extra puzzles, in terms of like a DLC kind of thing. So if you wanted to play through those, you can as well. And it's very sort of paradoxal in terms of the puzzles, in the way that you're moving the pathways, and the way that your character has to move. There's no platforming involved. You just need to sort of think outside the box in terms of how you place the paths. And a lot of the times when you move these pathways, you don't think it's going to line up, but it does. And so it's really nice when it does that. And the visuals are just absolutely gorgeous. I've like taken it upon myself to, every time I play, to take a screenshot, because you get a moment once you've figured out that particular level. You get to sort of take a screenshot if you want to. But you can take a screenshot as you're playing through it as well. But what's nice, I don't know if it's available in the main sort of PC games. What I found because I bought the trilogy on PlayStation physically, they've added in a photo mode, which is really nice. Because I know a lot of people probably would appreciate the art style of Monument Valley. And yeah, I loved playing through all 3 of these games. They're absolutely amazing, and they're just so pretty. Like, how can you not be visually, just looking at it is beautiful. And the puzzles not too difficult. You can actually you figure it out as you play through them. There are some levels that are a little challenging, but that's only because because of the way that the paths kind of have to align, and the way that you have to maneuver certain, levels. It really depends in order for you to move your character. So it is a little bit of a challenge, but it's not too difficult. You can get through it. And like I said, like each game is a couple of hours long. So Monument Valley, the trilogy, I definitely would recommend.
These look more like Michael games than Marcus games, I think.
Don't say that, Marcus.
I feel like the puzzles in these ones might give me trouble. I just looking at it. It looks like almost like an Escher painting. That's what it kind of evokes to me. As you're kind of walking around the environments and kind of, I don't know, flipping kind of on different dimensions and stuff. But these are ones that I've had on my radar but I've been a little scared to get into because I think the puzzles might be a little beyond me. That's where I'm thinking. Michael will have no problem. But
it's one of those type of things where you really do have to kind of, like I said, you have to kind of think outside the box, and some of those pathways may not be as obvious as others will be. But once you start sort of playing around with the controls within each level, you start to figure it out. So in Monument Valley 3, I believe it was like one of the DLC levels. They kind of did trip me up a little bit. So that one did, I think one of the last puzzles I had to do was really confusing, that it took me a good, I'd say half an hour to an hour to figure that one out specifically. But that wasn't like the main sort of story chapters. And when I say story, it's not verbally told what the story is. There are some bits of dialogue that you read once you finish like each section. But it's not a lot. It's essentially just kind of this elder that's talking to your character about where your path or your journey is going, kind of a thing. So it's actually really nice. It's a very light story, but it's there. And I think in number 2, you start off as playing one character, but then your character has a daughter as well. And so your daughter starts to come along with you. And then eventually then you as the mother then let your daughter go on her adventure. And so you become the daughter. So it's a really just nice and chill game if you like those type of puzzles. So
very cool.
Very cool. Sounds interesting. Sounds. I think it's on our list anyway, right, Marcus? At least it's on my list.
Maybe Fulya recommended it for us. It's probably on the list.
I think so too.
Yeah. I would definitely start off with number 1. If you kind of want to get like very basic story and just to get an idea of what the rest of the games are going to be like. But all 3 are just visually just so beautiful.
Do they build up on each other, by the way?
Kind of a little bit, but you can also play them as standalones as well. So
okay, and I'm just wondering with regards to the puzzles. So are the puzzles in 3 more complex as the puzzles in 1?
They start off simple. That they always start you off when you start off the game. It always starts you off with very simple puzzles, and then it progresses to a bit more challenging.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just trying to help Marcus whether he needs to remember that the thing that he learned in the first one he can apply in the third one, right? So that's the idea. Sorry.
Yes. Developed by Us 2 Games, by the way.
Very nice.
Yeah. Michael, what is your final game that you'd like to highlight here?
So I'm going to highlight the shortest tiny game that I played in 25, which I absolutely loved. I was done with this game in 40 minutes, I think 49 minutes, around about there, so not a full hour. And the game is called The Dark Queen of Mortholme. So I'm not exactly sure whether it's Mortholme or Mortholme. but I'm going to go with Mortholme because I think it's probably Scandinavian in certain respects. And what I love about this game is that it flips the meta narrative on its head. You imagine those roguelike games, Fulya, right, where you don't play as the hero this time, but you actually play as the boss and hear the Dark Queen. So the game opens. You're on your throne room. We can already see it there in the preview. And this little cheeky hero comes bustling in your throne room, having slaughtered the entire royal guard, and he's here for you. So obviously, you feel a little bit offended that this little peepsqueak, right, is kind of causing the trouble in the tower, and you have no problem defeating him. But this being a roguelike, obviously, the trick here is that the hero learns your patterns, and this is what makes the game interesting, is that each subsequent fight becomes more frustrating for you as the queen to kind of beat the little hero that is there. And so it kind of flips that whole meta narrative, and you have an idea what it feels like to be the boss in a video game. And I think the tragedy here is that the queen, or you playing the role of the queen, are kind of stuck in your code, right? You're stuck in the patterns. You're stuck in the routine that you were given by the way that the developers coded you, right? And you have this cheeky little hero that with each death kind of learns a little bit more how to defeat you. And there's this kind of strange companionship that happens between these two entities through combat. And I think in the end, you can only but feel a little bit sad how isolated the queen is with regards to how lonely it is, to be on top. And obviously there are many meta narratives that come from there with regards to, if once we start deconstructing the meaning of that specific story, why maybe change is necessary, right, to overcome isolation and dysfunctionality that comes to this isolation, right? I think there are many examples in the world where this is still the case. So it's a beautiful little game with some great dialogue between the two main protagonists, and it's definitely 40-45 minutes well spent. So highest praise goes to the Dark Queen of Mortholme.
Yeah, it looks really, really interesting in its gameplay. I do like that they sort of turn the table on you and you end up being the boss instead of the hero. So I kind of like that.
You can empathize with the boss for the first time.
And I think that's what I was just going to say. The dialogue really kind of encourages the player to empathize with the other side. And I think that, that's probably a good lesson, for everybody at all times, is being able to try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. That's what this game really does. I think that's where it excels. I think I think we played this. I'm pretty sure you did as well, Michael. You got all the achievements, correct?
Yeah,
so we played there's multiple endings. I think you can actually get through this game in 20 minutes on your first playthrough. It's that short. So this is the quintessential tiny game. Kind of packs a big punch with a very short runtime.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nice,
Epic adventure. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So that one was developed by Mosu.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's a single developer as far as I know. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's
also
pretty
available
cool.
on itch.io as far as I know. So
yeah. Cool. So Marcus, what is your final game you would like to highlight today?
So my final game was absolutely one of my favorite games of the year, just hands down, bar none. It was developed and published by YCJY Games, And this game is called Keep Driving. If you've listened to anything that I've done before, you probably, heard me go on and on about this game. I love Keep Driving. So it's a bit of a fudge in terms of the tiny games, because Keep Driving is an RPG, kind of almost like in some respects like a traditional like turn-based RPG. It's got some management RPG kind of like aspects to it. But you can play through it and you can get to an ending. And that, if you play through it once and get to an ending, that'll probably take you, I don't know, 2 to 4 hours or so. But every time you start up this game is randomized and is completely different. And it's one that I've only like really done one full playthrough. But it's one I keep thinking about going back to, because it is so unique. I told the story when we did the episode of like, I was driving in, I went into a town. You can get out of your car and kind of explore the town a little bit. I happened to find drugs, cocaine in a dumpster. I was like, okay, we'll take the cocaine up. And
as one does, right?
As one does.
Sure.
Dumpster cocaine, of course. Why would I not? I thought it's kind of funny. And so I'm driving and I'm like on the map, I'm like, okay, well, there's a top of a mountain that I can drive to, and I'm trying to get up there. You have to not only manage your characters, kind of like energy levels and their happiness levels, but you also have to maintain your vehicle. And so like I'm driving, and this I keep encountering like sheep and potholes and slow vehicles, each are which kind of like a traditional kind of like turn-based combat scenario. That's how it all plays out. I'm like running out of energy. I'm running out of gas. I can't quite make it. I'm like, I guess I'm going to try the cocaine. Maybe that'll give me enough energy to get to the top of the mountain. It didn't. I still ran out of gas. My mom had to tow me back to town. And then, this is a story, and this is something that like Michael never experienced, right? And so this is like a complete unique experience to my playthrough. I could play through it, a dozen more times and not have the opportunity to do that. And it's just a really, it's just a fantastic game. I think we've definitely got to talk about the music. This is like probably the best music in any game that I've played all year. And that's saying something, because there's been some really good soundtracks this year. It's just it's such a vibe. It's like this road trip. I think the game is Swedish developers. I think they got like a Swedish kind of indie band to do a good chunk of the soundtrack.
Samples, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like even the main track that's on the trailer is just like, it's so perfect. It fits the whole vibe of the game. It is just really, really special game. I think it's only on PC at the moment. There was some talk about it being ported to other platforms. I'm not sure where the developers are at with that. I really do hope it does. As far as I know, it's still a keyboard and mouse game, which, again, as Michael knows, that's not my thing. Until just recently, I didn't even own a mouse for my laptop. I was like, I borrowed Lindsay's mouse. I was basically using the trackpad, and it, I don't like keyboard and mouse games. I basically avoid them at all costs. And I love to Keep Driving, and that's how I played it. So like, I think that it just kind of helps illustrate how much I liked this game, that I overcame my frustration of using keyboard and mouse, and it still was like one of my favorite games of the year. So it is really, really a special game. I think, and it has gotten some recognition. It's at least received some nominations. It's kind of like this game of the year type stuff. But I don't, outside of Michael and I'm not sure I know a single other person that's played this game. So more people need to play Keep Driving. If I can convince one person to play the Keep Driving with all my evangelism of the game, my work here is done, because I think it is a really special game.
Nice. Well, Marcus, I don't know if you knew this, but this is Steam Deck verified. It
is Steam Deck verified now. Yes. It wasn't when we played it. Yeah,
oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Well, that makes it easier to go back to. I didn't actually know that. Yeah, that's very cool.
And it was my second favorite game of the year. So definitely right up there. And I think, Marcus, as far as I know, this was also your top game of 2025. So
top tiny game of 2025.
Top tiny, exactly. So highly, highly recommended. My top game was the game that we played with you, Fulya, which was Jusant. Yeah. Yeah, but keep driving. Definitely is worth your time if you like RPGs and you want to see. I don't know, RPGs just interpreted in a different way.
Completely unique. I've never played anything like
100%
this.
right.
Yeah. It kind of takes
100% right,
some traditional kind of mechanics that you might be familiar with if you've played some traditional RPGs, but it puts it in this very unique scenario that is, again, unlike anything I've experienced before. Very cool.
And I want to see more game from these developers, right? Whatever, right? So keep riding, keep surfing, keep whatever, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, so that was developed by YCJY Games.
Yeah.
It's very cool in its detailed sort of art style as well. I do like the pixel graphics in that, by the look of that game. I'm not huge on inventory management style games, so probably not for me.
There is a little bit of that.
but it's light. It's light.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's doable. You just got to make sure that, if you, I don't know, you get thirsty, that there is something there to drink, or, if you want to get high, that you have the necessary drugs, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, and just mention that nonchalantly. It's fine.
No, but the fact is that so you're picking up hitchhikers as well.
Yeah, they're your party members. Yeah,
exactly. They're party members, and they change the conditions of this journey that you have, right? So
That's interesting.
so some, I don't know, give you some plus points. Some just dirty the car. Some demoralize you, right? So it's really interesting. It's really interesting to. I can but encourage, right, to pick up hitchhikers and take them with on this journey. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, my final game is a quintessential tiny game because you can play this in about half an hour.
Okay.
And it's a hidden objects game by an otter team, and it's called Bubumbu. And this one it's just really cute. It's a very basic sort of hand-drawn art style. You go around as a kind of like a puzzle piece, and you're trying to find all these other puzzle pieces to continue on with the little stories that are within each of these little in these little areas. So it's just fun and cute. There's like a pirate island. There's you're on the Antarctic. You're just somewhere really cute, and it's hand drawn. It's got the it's basically black and white, but with like pops of color here and there. And it kind of looks like it's like one of those coloring books, or they're sort of colored in with pencil. So that's kind of the art style that I really sort of enjoy seeing sometimes. So I really like that. But it's just very, very simple game. You can play it within a half hour and it's done. And it's just a really quick experience. So I really enjoy playing through Bubumbu, especially considering when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, this looks really cool. And it is so cheap. It is so cheap. It is under $2.
Wow.
Hey.
Just go and grab it.
You'd be foolish not to buy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And right now, until Monday, it is available for 50% off. So even cheaper. It's like under $1. Go buy it.
Does the name mean anything, Bubumbu? Because it's an unusual name. So I'm kind of thinking, is it some sort of
I haven't looked into it, so I have no idea.
Okay.
I like the way that it sounds.
Yeah. It looks like the art style reminded me a lot of Chicory, actually.
100%.
That's what jumped out at me right
kind of similar to that in terms of its art style. Yes, absolutely. But yeah, it's just really cute, silly little sort of hidden objects game. And it's, it doesn't take up too much of your time. So it's, if you're looking for something to kill, like to kill a little bit of time on your hands, then Bubumbu is definitely worth checking out.
Can you spell that for me? Bubumbu?
Bubumbu.
Okay.
Bubumbu. Yeah.
Bubumbu. Got it.
It's good fun to say. But yeah, that is essentially what we have for you all today. Now, before we wrap up the show, we need to quickly head on over to the indie circuit and go through the upcoming indie game releases for January. It is stacked. There is so much coming out this month. My goodness. We're gonna start off with June Crawl, releasing on the 5th of January on PC. We've got Star Rapture coming out on the 6th of January on PC to early access. We have Fairy Tale Dungeons, which I had no idea this was a thing, but this is already out on PC. However, on the 7th of January, you will be able to play it on Switch. I Am Future, already available on PC, but on the 8th of January, you can play it on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and your Switch. We've got Kejora coming out also on the 8th of January on all platforms. Pathologic 3 on the 9th of January on PC. Big Hops on the 12th of January on PC, PlayStation 5, and Switch. Hightail on the 13th of January on PC in early access. Cassette Boy available on the 15th of January on all platforms. Mio Memories in Orbit available on the 20th of January on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Switch 2. We have Cooking Simulator 2 Better Together coming out on the 20th of January on PC. Gooey coming out on the 21st of January on PC. Hermit and Pig available on the 22nd of January on PC. Escape from Ever After will be available on all platforms on the 23rd of January. Core Keeper, already available on PC, but now will be available on Switch 2 on the 28th of January. Cairn, available on the 29th of January on PC and PlayStation 5. We've got Chrono Arc Deluxe Edition on the 29th as well, coming to you on Switch. City Tales Medieval Era, also on the 29th on PC. The Midnight Walkers, also the 29th on PC. And also on the 29th is I Hate This Place on all platforms. And then the final game coming out on the 30th of January is the 9th Channel, available on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. Now, that is a huge list of games coming to you this month. Michael.
Lots of demos for you, Fulya. Lots of demos.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of demos.
That's great.
Michael, is there anything from this list that is kind of standing out to you?
Yeah, I think Omni is coming out on the 20th of January. I think the most interested in that specific game. Yeah, so that's where I've set my sights on, and it's gonna go on my to play list for this year. So on my front log, I think you call it carpool gaming, right? So
Yeah, front log, yes.
it's gonna go in my front log. What about you, Marcus? Anything that speaks to you there?
Well, I've got three. So Mio, for sure. I think that I watched the trailer again today. Holy moly.
Mio,
Mio, yeah. Memories in Orbit. Yeah, so it looks really, really, really good. Very, very Ori. I'm a big 2D Metroidvania. It's got a really cool cel-shaded art style. Yeah, this is definitely kind of right up my alley. Cairn, this one's a more high-profile game. Cairn is like the Dark Souls of climbing games. So that has me a little worried, but I am quite curious. It's been previewed, I think, a few times. Like demos have been available in the past. Have you played one? Fulya,
no, I haven't.
Yeah.
I just from looking at the trailer, I can definitely see what you're talking about. Yeah.
I'm in real life, at least in a former life, I used to do quite a bit of climbing and mountaineering. So that kind of always piques my interest a little bit. And then the third one is a little off the radar. I kind of only actually found out about it recently, is Cassette Boy. So this kind of looks like a Game Boy kind of style game. It's like very limited color palette, like a kind of some greens and white grays and stuff like that. But it's almost like a Zelda kind of style, top down, a little bit of action, RPG-ish, but also puzzle. So it does the flipping of the environments, kind of like Fez, or what we played earlier last year, Michael 30 Birds, how you kind of changed the perspective a little bit. Looks really neat. So I'm curious to see how that one reviews and what people say about it. And that one's definitely on my radar, though.
Nice. I am looking forward to, like, honestly, Keijora was one that's been on my list for a little while. It's very kind of like, it's got this like Studio Ghibli-esque kind of a feel in terms of its story. And when I saw it previewed, I think it was during Summer Games Fest last year, I thought, you know what, I need to pop this one onto my wish list because
it looks a little scary though,
really cool.
Fulya. It looks a little scary.
Honestly, it does look like it's got something like, you know, kind of horror-ish.
Sinister. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something going under that's very dark. But I feel like I'll be able to play through it potentially. Like, but the only thing that worries me is the stealth aspect of it, because you might have to do a little bit of sneaking around, so that you don't get caught by the monster that's in it. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, in terms of just its story, like that's what kind of piques my interest. And then honestly, just Escape from Ever After is definitely like one that I've got on my wish list. I'm kind of curious about that one. And Hermit and Pig, I've played a demo for it. It's funny. And you're essentially a human, an old man with a pig companion, and you're going around foresting, like harvesting mushrooms, and it's quite fun.
I think this was an RPG. It's 6-1 Indie Showcase alum, I think. I remember seeing this one there, yeah.
Yes,
Looks cute.
It's got a really cute art style, and it's just very quirky in its storytelling. So, and it's an RPG, so I'm looking forward to playing through it.
Love that.
More. Yeah, it's going to be really cool. But that is pretty much it for the show. Thank you, Michael and Marcus, for joining me on this journey. I really do appreciate it. But we are going to thank you, the listeners and viewers, for joining us on this quick ride. So it is time to park this van. We would like to thank all of our supporters over on patreon.com/carpoolgaming. And we want to say a huge thank you to our ultimate producers, Brendan Myers, aka The Winter Gamer, and Jonathan Brown, whose link you can find at linktree/pme.jib for all of his music. Go check it out. Platinum producers, Benny, Smoke and Joe, The Captain, and Tim Paullin. And our gold members, Adam K, and our awesome Dave 1337, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Emily O'Kelly, Hambone Jonny, John 32, Laura, Liger Woods 330, Mr. Giggles, Peje EP, Stephen Keller, and TechMike. Thank you all so much for your support. If you would like to be a patron, please head on over to patreon.com/carpoolgaming and choose the tier that's right for you. You can also grab the gold member tier for a 7-day free trial, just to check out some of the content that we have over there. But you probably won't get through all of it because there is too much. So just get a little taste of what we have for you over on Patreon. But yeah, thank you to the Tiny Games Chronicles team for joining me. Where can people find you? We'll start with Marcus. Where can people find you on the internet?
Easiest place is on Blue Sky at Marcus O'Neill 79. And maybe I'll do the plug for the show. So we do another podcast called Tiny Game Chronicles, where every other week we get together and talk about a particular tiny game. Again, tiny games, 5 hours or less. And we do a deep dive discussion on each of those tiny games. And it's been a real blast being able to chat with Michael and explore some of these kind of games that I probably would have looked past. It was we really designed the show out of more practical reasons than anything else, because we have limited amount of time to play games. We really wanted to podcast together. It was like, hey, maybe we just talk about tiny, shorter games, and it's worked out really, really well. So, yeah, Michael.
Absolutely. So you can also go get me on Blue Sky under Drellish, DRELLESH. as well as on our show, obviously Tiny Game Chronicles together with Marcus. We love doing that show. But Fulya, this is a show about the mini indie van. We want to thank you specifically,
Aw.
very much for inviting us and being part of at least this episode. And anytime we want to talk tiny games, please feel free to invite us. We'd love to come over and do something like this again. We absolutely loved it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
For
Aw,
doing
thank
that.
you. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed our discussion today. It was a lot of fun. And I know I, for one, am one of those type of gamers that loves to play the shorter indie games as much as possible. And I also really enjoy listening to your podcast. So thank you so much for the content that you provide for us.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for listening to the Mini Indie Van, and we'll see you next month. Bye, everyone.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.